or should I say good morning to all of you, lovely peoples of Ghana. This is Beulah Multimedia GH. We're in Zebila in the Upper East region along Bogamboku Road. Currently, we are in our daddy, Honorable, should I say, former DC for Zebila constituency. That is Honorable Daddy Suli Agolisi. We are in his house for more details or for more brief about the history of Kusasi. Try to subscribe, like it for us, and also share for us. So quickly, I'll move to Daddy and also have a word with Daddy. Daddy, good evening once again.
Good evening and welcome.
I hope you are doing good.
By His grace and by your prayers.
Amen.
You are good.
I can see the way you are shining.
Thank you.
With your nice smoke.
Thanks be to God.
Amen. Daddy, we are here once again to have a little word with you about the brief history about Kusasi. Any little knowledge you have about the history of Kusasi once again.
Thank you for this opportunity. But I like the word little knowledge because the history of Kusasi is so vast and so deep.
Okay.
That even though you would consider us as elderly people, we are relatively very young in terms of the history of Kusasi.
Okay.
But let me also add that I am also a former district secretary for the whole of Boku.
Oh, okay.
For the whole of Kusasi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
wow.
Rollins era.
Oh, okay.
I was the first district secretary during the revolutionary era.
Wow.
I'm stating this not because I want to blow my horn or something, but I'm stating this to let people understand if I'm narrating the history of Kusasi, it's because of that exposure. I also had the opportunity to interact with many more other elderly and knowledgeable people across the length and breadth of Kusasi.
Okay.
So not just Tone area.
Okay.
Otherwise somebody will say, well, you are a district secretary from a village in Tanga, born and bred here. Okay. So what do you know about Kusasi to be talking about it?
Okay.
But that is the history or the beginning that I want to just add that.
Then I think we are very happy and proud to have such a person. And our prayer is, may our good Lord give our daddy good health and then a long life so that we can be able to have such people with us every day, anytime, any moment we are looking for them. And I think you outside there must be also praying for his long life. Let's quickly move back to Daddy and then ahead to our question. I want to have a little knowledge or a brief history about Kusasi.
Yeah, that's like yesterday when we were having the first discussion. We mentioned that Kusasi, as we have it now, used to be there.
Okay.
But the administrative setup, we did not have chiefs. Okay. We didn't have centralized rulers or leaders. We were among the acephalous or the tribes without structured leaders.
Okay.
And we were living under clan basis or tindanes.
Okay.
And these were smaller clans of various Kusasi ethnic groupings.
Okay.
Yeah, but with the advent of colonialism and the intrusion of the white colonial system into the area, the modern day Kusasi with chiefs came into being.
Okay.
Yeah. And it is, you said, my little knowledge. The problem we have is due to the fact that when the white colonial administration came up and did not get chiefs, they wanted chiefs to enhance the indirect rule which they had successfully tried in northern Nigeria.
Okay.
That was introduced by Lord Lugard or something.
Okay.
And so because they didn't get chiefs, areas where some Kusasis were already exhibiting those qualities as leaders easily filled that gap as chiefs and became chiefs.
Okay.
Where there were no chiefs, they had to fish out some. And in some places, some of our people unfortunately, thought chieftaincy was not something worth going into.
Okay.
Like my village, I come from Tanga.
Okay.
Our ancestors said to be a chief, you will become weak.
Wow.
You will not be hunting.
Wow.
You won't go for fishing.
Okay.
There was no wrestling.
Okay.
And so if you are always sitting on the skin doing nothing, you will become weak and feeble.
Wow.
Yeah, so they had to look for somebody.
Ran away from it because they didn't want to sit at one particular place.
Yeah, it was alien, and they didn't see the need for it.
To them.
Yes, and they didn't see the need for it because apart from the earlier practice of exploitation and harassment,
okay,
the chiefs had little or no influence,
okay,
and the people didn't see the importance of it.
Oh, okay.
Just like that time, education.
Okay.
Those who were wealthy and capable did not want their children to go to school. They didn't want to go to hospital because they thought modern medicine will make you weak.
Okay.
And you will not be able to perform the manly activities that as they thought.
Okay.
So unfortunately, they gave up, and that became the beginning of the problems of our modern day Kusasi.
Wow. Wow. I think we are learning something here, viewers. Surai said it was because of this that the Kusasis were running away from the chieftaincy, and that led to all sort of what we are seeing today.
Well, you know, human beings naturally are resistant to changes.
Okay.
It wasn't something that they were used to.
Okay.
The idea of chiefs it was an alien thing. And it did not add anything to the ego, or it did not boost their morale, or it didn't raise their status in the society. And so they respected those who were good farmers, had large families, were good hunters, were good wrestlers,
okay,
etc.
That means
so,
the Kusasi by then, they like farming. Should I say it that way? Or they were people who like hard working?
Yeah, even as at now,
okay,
the Kusasis by nature, I would even say the northern extraction per se.
Okay.
Apart from farming, there was nothing else. Commerce or trading as we knew it was not there. We are not having money economy.
Okay.
No. So since there was no money economy, what else could they do apart from farming, hunting, and fishing?
Okay. Wow. Daddy, I think yesterday we spoke much about this history of Kusak. Should I ask a question again about how do the Mampurusis came to Boko, and how did they become a king? They didn't want to leave the kingship to them.
Well, a point of correction.
Okay.
No Mampurusis ever became a king in Kusak.
Okay.
In the first place, in the whole north, I don't know whether we even have any king, because a king rules over a kingdom.
Okay.
And apart from us just playing with words,
okay,
when you go to Britain and they say the king or the queen,
okay,
yeah, it's a kingdom, united kingdom.
Okay.
And so the king rules over a kingdom.
Oh, okay.
But here we are just playing with words.
Okay.
So the Mampurusis in Boku never became kings or a king.
Okay.
And in reality, Mampurusis in Boku did not rule the whole of Kusak as chiefs.
Okay.
It's not true.
Okay.
They ruled in Boku as chiefs of Boku.
Okay.
And as I was telling you yesterday, until 1932
okay,
or 31,
okay,
when they organized the 19 chiefs within Kusak
okay,
to elect a tribal chief of Kusasi.
okay,
Tribal chief, that's something like the head or the leader.
okay,
They were equal.
okay.
And so when they talk now and say, oh, they ruled from 19 or 18 for something, it wasn't true.
Okay.
And so, according to some oral history, this is the narration of Nayiri sent somebody to come and guard trade routes and whatnot. It's neither here nor there.
Okay.
We contacted one Ayagiba.
Okay.
He was a long time a very powerful ruling chief of Sembun or Sapelaga.
Okay.
And he told us that according to the oral history they also got, was that the first person to become chief in Boku from the Mampurusis side.
Okay.
Had misbehaved in Mampurugu.
Okay.
According to him,
Okay.
he apparently seduced one of the Nayiri's wives.
Okay.
And those years, if you did that and you were caught, death was the ultimate penalty.
Okay.
So that man escaped
Okay.
and came down. And that time it wasn't easy to move even from here to Tili,
That means
2 miles or 3 miles. They didn't banish him, he had to escape.
Okay.
And so they started looking for him, and finally they heard that he had come down to Zoting. Zoting means down the hills.
Okay.
And according to Naba Yagiba,
Okay.
they sent people to quietly trace and see whether they can capture and bring him back for trial.
Okay.
So he also got wind
Okay.
and escaped from Boku town to Zulugo. That is, Zulugo is near Palwega area,
Okay.
Nyorgo side.
Okay.
So the Nairi warriors came, said they couldn't get him, and went back.
Okay.
Then when the white man came looking for chiefs and leaders, he put himself forward because he had come from there and knew about chieftaincy and the advantages.
Okay.
And they didn't object to him. And to buttress his point, he told me I went with one Ismail Yakubu on a motorbike. That day, I have got the date of our visit to him in a paper in my file. Maybe next time I can get and look at and give you the exact date.
Okay.
He told us that when he became chief, he said, but for the Zulugo people who received him and offered him safety,
Okay.
if they had captured him and sent him back to Nigeria, he would have been beheaded. And so, as a way of honoring the Zulugo people and the shrine or the Tungbane, the Tungbane or the land shrine of Zulugo, anytime a chief was enskined in Boku, they had to go and sleep at Zulugo. Then they would sacrifice white cock, white ram, white bull. Then the following day, they will come back to Boku through Zosi. That practice or tradition continued until 1956, thereabout, when the Kusasi also decided that enough was enough. We were not prepared to be ruled by somebody who wasn't part of us.
Okay.
And so, one, did he say was Ayiri or somebody? Okay. When he was enskinned, the Zulugu Kusasis refused to recognize him and to honor him by those sacrifices. Okay. And that was when they truncated this traditional sacrifice of the Kusasis for the Mampurusis chief. And so they started ruling from there. But very limited. Their influences did not extend to Zebila. Okay. It did not extend to Garu. Okay. It did not. So it was just there for that purpose of the white colonial government's interaction with the chiefs. Okay. And because of their atrocities, they wanted to put the fear of God in the average Kusa, not only Kusa, all inhabitants. Okay. Moses, Bisas, those who lived in Kusa at that time, and they were the chiefs. Okay. They tortured and molested them. They seized people's wives. Okay. Wow. Seized people's smokes.
Very interesting. Wow.
Beat up people.
Wow.
If you went to farm for the chief, because that was the practice. Okay. The various communities will organize and farm for the chief. Need soil to build compounds for the chief and the wives. Harvest the grains or the millet, transport to the chief's place, put it in the barn, do everything. The chief's business was to relax and eat and feed. Wow. And if the chief saw a lady who was nice and appealing to him, he would just invite the woman. That was the end. If he goes to say, oh, chief wants to have some time with the woman. That was the end. He has seized your wife.
Whether you have a husband or not.
It didn't matter. After all, you were just like lower animals. Wow.